Okay, question 2 for the essay is going to be tubuloglomerular feedback. So what that's going to be, so we're going to have our glomerulus here. We're going to have these cells that are going to be right up against it. These are going to be our, sorry, let me move this chair. They're going to be our macula densa cells. Now these guys are going to sense levels of sodium chloride. Nope, that's not negative. But so if there's going to be excess sodium chloride, it's going to cause the afferent arteriole to constrict. The constriction is then going to reduce the blood flow to the glomerulus, and then we're just going to decrease GFR when that happens, which will then start to lower our sodium chloride. And then when it senses that it's low, it's too low, then it's going to dilate the afferent arteriole, which is going to increase blood flow, which is going to increase the amount of sodium chloride that's going to be able to make its way in there. Question 2 is going to be talking about the RAS system. So the RAS system has a few main parts to it. And basically RAS is a hormone system that regulates blood pressure and balance. When blood pressure drops, the juxtaglomerular cells in the kidneys will end up releasing renin. Renin then converts angiotensin, which comes from the liver, into angiotensin 1. Angiotensin, or ACE, then from the lungs converts angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2, which is very, very good at vasoconstriction. One of the things that it does is systemic vasoconstriction. It'll raise blood pressure that way. It'll stimulate aldosterone to be secreted from the adrenal cortex. Aldosterone then also increases sodium and water reabsorption in the kidneys, which then boosts blood volume and also pressure. And so it's just a system that really regulates blood pressure and also like fluid balances with water absorption. Let me see, what is question 2? Explain what happens at a cellular level with ADH and aldosterone. Okay. So ADH is going to be released by the pituitary gland, and it basically works on the collecting ducts of the kidneys. So we have, this marker is really bad. Let me pause and get a different color marker. Give me 1 second. Got a blue marker. This should work. And so we see how we have, we have 2 different kinds, and we have one that'll loop from the other side too. Oh, I didn't finish drawing this. Oopsies. And it'll connect over here. We'll have the other one come in. I'm not going to draw the other one. But so here we have the collecting duct. And here in the collecting duct, basically ADH is going to make it more permeable to water by inserting aquaporin channels inside. That way water can make its way out. Sorry, I was doing it. But it can make its way out. That way water can be reabsorbed and it's not going to be excreted and urinated. Concentrating the urine and maintaining a good balance in the body for water. The other thing, aldosterone, that's going to work also on the collecting ducts, but also on distal tubules. And it'll just promote sodium and chloride absorption. It's going to promote potassium being excreted. It's also going to lead to more water retention because sodium is going to be reabsorbed, which is going to increase blood volume and also blood pressure. So that's how ADH and aldosterone work because of the RAS system too and what they do on the kidneys. Next question is going to be, explain how the loop of Henle is used to establish and maintain the renal medullary concentration gradient. So it plays a big role in maintaining concentration gradient, especially urine. So I guess I shouldn't have erased this. I should really just look at all these questions first. That way I can tell what I need to erase and what I don't. This is a bad drawing too, but there we are. We're gonna have this one's gonna come together. Another one. Okay. Basically, we got the loop of Henle here. And so the descending part of it, right here, which I'm gonna try and, there we are, is permeable to water, but not to solutes. And so on this part right here, it's gonna allow water to leave, making the urine more concentrated. Now the ascending limb over here, on this side of it, is impermeable to water, but actively transports sodium and other solutes out into the fluid, creating high osmolarity. So this gradient allows the ducts to adjust the concentration of urine depending on the presence of ADH as well. When ADH is really high, the collecting ducts are then going to be permeable to water, and then they'll move out of the duct into the high osmolarity area, concentrating the urine. So the loop of Henle really focuses on, either moving water out or also and letting solutes in, or vice versa. It really just plays a very big important part on how we can make the urine so concentrated, because we're going to have different areas where we're going to be able to move water in and out, solutes as well. And yeah, well, I guess another thing too is, if when the body coordinates actions between ADH, the loop of Henle, the concentration gradient, the kidneys overall are going to be able to regulate the concentration and the volume, which is really important, because the one thing that our body wants to do always is maintain homeostasis, and that's how this comes into play. Is there one more question? Explain how this gradient and ADH can work together to excrete urine of different concentrations. Basically, so like I said earlier, if there's high ADH, these ducts are going to be more permeable to water, which is going to move water out of the duct. And so as we have higher ADH, the urine itself is going to be a lot more concentrated. It's not going to be diluted because a lot of water is out of it. And so, yeah, that's basically just how ADH works together with this gradient in excreting urine of different concentrations.